everybody, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my home here in Santa Monica, California, and welcome to another Thursday check-in. I'm finally home in Santa Monica, and this time I'm home for 16 days, which I feel like I haven't been home for 16 days in a long time. I kind of been trending on 7 to 9 days at home since the pandemic happened. I've been working in Las Vegas twice a month, and I will be going back to Las Vegas by the time this video goes live. In about 6 days or so, I'll be heading back to Las Vegas. So you'll have another check-in next week Thursday from Santa Monica, and the following Thursday check-in will be from Las Vegas. With that being said, there's some fun things happening in my plant life and my personal life and just personal growth in general. Every year I thrive to do something new, to teach myself something new, and I don't have resolutions for the new year, but I always tell myself that I need to learn something new every year. So this year I was really adamant on wanting to do something with my plant blooms. I know from last year I had it in my mind where I wanted to preserve it, and I just didn't know how and what I wanted to do, and I finally took it into my own hands this year. And if you guys watch both of the channels, the main channel and the vlog channel, you know I've shared my whole experience, my fails, my wins, and it's just been really nice to share my journey on both of the channels, doing something different with my plant life, being a content creator, doing daily uploads and having hundreds of plants. I'm always kind of figuring out, okay, what next? Of course I want to maintain the collection and maintain what I have in the collection, and as far as for bringing in new plants, I'm always down to plant shop and do plant hauls and planting with Jewelyns. That'll never change. But being able to do more than just take a photo of my plant blooms that come maybe one night a year, or maybe they last maybe not even 24 hours, like my beautiful cactus blooms or the Hoya blooms. Those things are super special, and over the years I've just been taking photos of them, but this year I taught myself how to preserve them and create very fun art with them. So it's another form of expression for me. I am definitely a maker. I love doing DIYs, whether it's creating content or costume design. I just love doing things, creating things. Having hundreds of plants is fun. I definitely will not stop doing plant hauls, plant shoppings, planting with Jewelyns, and doing the kind of series on the channel I enjoy sharing on a daily basis. That is never gonna change. I love my plant life and being able to share that on this platform. With my new art form that I taught myself over this pandemic lockdown, I'm able to do more than just take a photo or share it on the channel. I can create art with them, preserving them, and they will last a lifetime. And I am super excited to announce on the channel that I will be at my local flea market in Los Angeles, California at Melrose Trading Post this Sunday. I cannot believe I am saying this sentence out loud. It's pretty emotional for me. I love going to thrift shops, flea markets, farmers markets, and I love being able to see what's there. I like to see different local artists and what they have, and just the flavor of the city wherever I travel. So to be able to be a vendor at my local flea market is definitely a big deal, and taking my new art form with preserving my houseplants and my resin art into a new small little business, along with selling plants from my collection and few things plant life related, is a very big deal for me. I never thought in the beginning of the year that I would be saying this and actually vending at my local flea market this time of the year. I think if the city was still open, I would still be teaching Pilates in the Pilates studio, but ever since the studios closed in March, and they are still closed unless they can figure out a way to be outdoors, but all of the studios that I work for permanently shut down their business. And so since with my Pilates life on standstill since March, April, I decided to teach myself this new art form of preserving the collection. And here we are, fast forward in September, and I'm launching my new little business. I can't believe I'm saying that. If you haven't noticed, I did launch a new Instagram account, which I wasn't trying to have a third Instagram, but it just doesn't make sense for me to have my little business connected to my personal Instagram or the plant Instagram. I will maintain all three the best that I can, but if you haven't, find me on Instagram, jewel_of_Hawaii, and you can see my art and I will be posting on that Instagram where you can find me and my art. But this Sunday, if you are in the Southern California area and you can make it, please come by this Sunday from 9 to 5. I will be in the red section by the stairs, R8, and Ebi and I will be vending my art along with some of my plant babies from the collection, along with some DIY plant poles. Now you guys see this on my DIY series on the channel where I make these poles, and I will be selling a bunch of them. I'm gonna be making them over the next couple of days. I love doing things like this. So shout out to my subscriber who gave me the ladder plant stands. If you guys see in my plant tours in the front of the house, they are styling plants, but I'm going to be taking those down to my local flea market, and you will see them in the front of my tables. And my plant babies from the collection that I'm going to be selling at the flea market will be styled on there, and I will have 2 big tables full of my resin art for sale. Ebi's gonna be with me, and I am doing this physically all by myself. I can't believe it, but I do want to say thank you to my family and my friends, whether far or near, for supporting me and my journey. I want to also give a big shout out to my plant friend Tanya, and I'll show you in a second her beautiful blooms that I'm preserving. I was able to get 30 of the blooms, but unfortunately 8 didn't make it, and I have 22 supposedly that are dried, so I'll share that at the end of the video. But that is my big public service announcement. I cannot believe I am going to be vending my art and my plants at my local flea market. I've always wanted to be a vendor at my local flea market to sell plants. I think it's gonna be fun for me to physically be out in my city talking about plant life and exposing my channel to a wider variety of audience that maybe hasn't found me just randomly on this platform. So it's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna be wearing my Planting with Jewelyn apron. With that being said, I will also have my Planting with Jewelyn merchandise, the aprons and the pot holders that my grandma created for the channel, for sale there. And if you are in the area, I would love to have you guys come down Sunday between 9 to 5 at the Melrose Trading Post. Come find Ebi and I. Whether you purchase something or not, I would love to meet you in person. So I guess you might want to say this is an unofficial meet and greet, but just to come by and say hi would be totally cool. And no obligations to purchase anything from my booth, but just to come and say hi and support the channel. That way would be so awesome. Since I've been home from Las Vegas, I've just been creating a lot of resin art. Obviously, I'm still editing every day for my daily upload, so that hasn't changed. Plant life is still thriving here. I'm still taking care of the collection. I am not going to be pushing my plant life and the collection on the side. It's just, instead of maintaining my Pilates life and teaching in the studios every week, I'm now focusing on being able to vend. My goal is to at least be at my local flea market once a month. If I can be there twice a month, then that would be great. But if I can get out in my community once a month to vend my art and my plants and meet my community and talk plant life, I think that'll be a very good goal for my new business. I can't believe it. I am really excited on this journey. So thank you guys so much for supporting me. And whether you guys are interested in resin art or not, it's just fun to be able to see the collection preserved in resin and doing some cool stuff. And I am self-taught. Every single time I pour or preserve something, I learn from my mistakes and I share it on the channel, and I move on and try to not get very upset. Everything with resin and creating art is so expensive, so if I make a mistake, not only do I get upset, but it like financially costs me a lot. I think last night I tried to preserve Tanya's blooms, one of them, and I thought it was fully dried, and I think my original brand of silica gel wasn't maybe either fully charged or not, and it burned in the resin, and that probably was like a $30 mistake. So I definitely have to be easy and gentle on myself, learn from my mistakes and move on. But I did just pour again another bloom of the 20-something blooms that I got over the couple of days from Tanya, and I don't think it burned. So it definitely was the new brand that I like. It really preserved it and it was fully charged. So stay tuned for that. maybe I may have 1 or 2 sitting in my booth with me. So if you guys watch my Planting with Jewelyn Tradescantia edition, I know I said next time I'm home I will give you guys an update. So I want to share one of them, and this is my Tradescantia, the tricolor that I got from a plant trade from my subscriber. And this is all that survived, and it wasn't actually this full, but over the past couple of weeks it has kind of filled out the planter and there's a lot of new growth. So I definitely wanted to give you guys an update of that, and I'm really excited to see this planter fill. And the rest of the Tradescantias is in the greenhouse. We'll see if I bring any down to vend. Tradescantias are very fragile plants, so if anything I might take like cuttings from my philodendrons and I'll have it like in moss and wrapped up on the bottom, or I might have like a bunch of Hoyas that are living in my greenhouse coming with me for sale. So we'll see what I bring. Some Sansevieria babies. It'll be really fun to see my little plant stands for my subscribers in the front of my booth with plant babies from the collection for sale, and it'll just be a nice kind of like conversational starter, because you never know who's into plants, and that's the fun thing about plants, is you just never know who is a crazy plant person. I want to give you guys one fun update of my Alocasia black velvet, and this was given to me from one of my subscribers because it was so dramatic for her. So she literally gave it to me in this planter, and one of the leaves when I first got it was already yellowing and I had to prune it off. And now the second leaf that came with this mother plant when I got it is now yellowing on me. But look at this, a new baby popped up while I was away. So I wanted to give you guys an update. This is another reason why I don't care for alocasias, because I find that either they're really great, like the big elephant's ear, no problem, I have tons of babies, they love being by the fountain. And then there's certain alocasias that really stress me out, or if it's variegated and the variegation goes away, then that kind of stresses me out. Like this, where I never have more than 2 leaves. If I have a new leaf, another one dies off. So alocasias is a hit or miss with me, but I just wanted to give you guys an update on this. I am now gonna prune this off and I'm just gonna keep this here, but I'm saying goodbye to this leaf. So I wanted to share with you this update because I was wondering when it was gonna give me any signs of new growth, because after that 1 out of 2 leaves turned yellow on me after I adopted this plant, I was like, okay Jewelyn, please don't fail on this one, because this is a rare plant in my part of the world. Sound off in the comments down below if it's rare where you are. So this will be pruned off. I'll keep this. This is gonna go back in my bathroom on my plant shelf. Speaking of which, I am in the middle of editing my plant tours for summer, but by the time you see it, it's gonna be in the middle of October. I want to give you guys another update on my Monstera Peru, which was also part of a plant trade from one of my subscribers. And finally, and I know a bunch of the cuttings didn't make it, I want to say 5 or so of the cuttings, maybe 4 or 3, something like that, didn't make it, and these were the only ones that made it. And look, we finally have new growth. So this whole time it's just been like sitting with these 2 leaves and stressing me out. But while I was away and this was in the bathroom with the humidity, which trends about 80% with my humidifier not even on, I'm finally seeing some new growth. So give this weekly check-in a thumbs up on that. So let me try to bring out a container of one of the blooms so you can see what Tanya's blooms look like. Here we are. So I am using my hat containers to do this huge project. I actually had to buy 3 more silica gel bags, and they are priced at like $35 a bag, and it's like 5 pounds. It's so small. So preserving plants is definitely not a cheap hobby, but I wanted to share with you guys a few of the blooms that made it. I can't believe I had to throw away 8, and I'm just like, I'm so obsessed. They're so gorgeous. So I have a bunch, and I shared a bunch of pictures on my Patreon. I've been sharing my journey on this and a lot of behind the scenes on the channel on my Patreon. So if you're interested in supporting my daily uploads, think about becoming one of my Patreon members, maybe at least give you guys just like a sneak peek of the blooms dried. I have a bunch, but again, I had to spend well over $100 to preserve this, and I believe the 8 that didn't make it was because my original brand of silica gel that I was using for my pink epiphyllums, I share on the vlog me recharging it in the oven at 250 Fahrenheit, but maybe it was just so much moisture and then it just sat in uncharged silica gel and the moisture just was sitting and not being sucked out, that all 8 blooms just kind of like rotted, unfortunately. And that's all I have to say about that. But I do have 2 containers like this with the new silica gel, and they all did pretty great. The only thing is that the bloom was so huge, if you watch my Instagram stories or see on my Instagram, that it's hard for me to be able to fully lay the bloom flat and preserve that way when I have like 30 blooms and 3 containers like this. It was just like, I did the best I could. Stay tuned because you'll eventually see it on the channel, and I will post a picture on my Patreon when I demold this huge piece. I got a big square mold, and this bloom from Tanya's mother plant literally like fills the whole square, and so it's definitely gonna be my biggest mold and my biggest bloom to preserve, and I hope I can do it justice. These blooms here, guys, literally they open up at night, so 10 o'clock was the peak time, and I vlogged the whole thing going over to Tanya's house in the middle of the night and us picking it, and I felt like we were in a movie trying to survive life, trying to get these blooms because a lot of them were like high up. So shout out to Tanya for like getting on a stool and trying to reach it for me. A lot of them were unreachable that were on the top, so that was really sad. But literally 30 blooms, like huge. I've never seen anything like this. They open up at night, and when the morning comes they are dead, and that's it. So being able to preserve them with my new art form that I taught myself over this pandemic, now they will last a lifetime and I can do some cool art. So if you're interested in any of my resin art, you can direct message me on Instagram, jewel_of_Hawaii, and I'm just like, I'm really excited about this whole new journey, and I was really excited to do this Thursday's check-in. I also want to share with you some fun resin art. So fun things that I created since I've been home this week are these cute little trinket trays, and I can have the monstera any color. It could be black, it could be pink, it could be purple, but I am just having fun with different molds, and just I'm a crazy plant person, so it's natural for me to want to create art that's plant themed, but I also have a handful of non-plant themed art as well to expand my resin art and not just stick to monstera leaves and opuntias, which I love, and you will see it all on my vending table. Speaking of which, I will be filming the whole process of me putting up my booth and breaking it down, and bits and pieces that I can share throughout the day of me vending. This is my first time, and I'm literally like doing this all physically by myself with Ebi's support, and I really don't know what to say, because one, it takes a lot to go out in your community and to try to sell your art and have your art out there for sale, and being able to talk to people who come up to the booth is another thing too, and being able to physically put yourself out there. I'm gonna have to load my car. I had purchased a big 10x10 tent, pop-up tent, and 2 huge 6-foot long tables, and they weigh about almost 30 pounds each, and I'm gonna physically have to move them from my car to where I am gonna be in the flea market and put it all up, make all of my beautiful art stand out, and have my plants in the plant stands in the front for sale. And then when the market is closed, I'm gonna have to break everything down and lug everything back to my car. So that is also a whole nother like thing I'm gonna have to deal with this, but I've been wanting to vend for a long time, and now being able to have something else than just my plants, I think is gonna be really fun and interesting. So I think whether you're into plants or not into plants, or into resin art or not into resin art, I think my booth will be interesting enough to just stop by and look, and I can always talk to people about plant life, and it would be cool. I can have them subscribe to the channel, and you know, like, no obligations to buy, but subscribing is free. So if you're new, subscribe to the channel and thumbs up the video. It really helps the channel. Another thing I wanted to share with you that I created are these beautiful trays. So you can have this on your vanity and your nightstand, really anywhere, on your coffee table. And I just thought it'd be fun to, of course, have some plant theme in it as well, but I can literally put anything in here, and I can have the monstera leaves any colors. Another fun thing that I did with the monstera theme, I know, not surprising, but I created these cool coasters. So you can buy them individually as one, you can get them as 2, or you can get them as 4. And I wanted to show you this fun little theme I did. So I have the monstera leaf variegated with a pink background, why not? And then the back of it is like a little pearl glitter. So it's 3 layers, like super cool. I love them a lot, and I'm going to be doing some fun things with this theme. So I'm probably gonna do like a black and white theme and just kind of have fun with this signature look of mine. Everything I'm creating, I'm just kind of doing it as I see my art, and I'm trying to think what molds can I combine together and make some fun art with. If you guys are interested in my coasters, I can custom make the monstera to any color, the resin background in any color, and that's the fun thing about resin, is I can customize it to really any color and theme. Direct message me for all of my resin orders on Jewel_of_Hawaii, and if you guys are interested in any of my merchandise or any of my plant babies, you can always reach out to me, Planting with Jewelyn, on Instagram. So interesting and emotional for me to say, like, when I did my first Thursday check-in, guys, when the pandemic happened, I never imagined myself 30 weeks in to checking in on a Thursday announcing that I launch a small little business and that I will be vending my plants and my resin art at my local flea market. Like, that is a very big deal, and I can't believe I have the guts to put myself out there. So I will be stepping out from your phone screens or your TV screens, and I will be in person to talk about plants. Ebi will be with me, so I hope you guys are able to come down this Sunday if you are in Los Angeles. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, supporting the channel, supporting my like crazy journey with my plant life. I cannot believe I am doing this and creating something out of nothing. I started the beginning of the lockdown not even knowing anything about resin art, and I think it's gonna be interesting to have my booth with plants for sale along with my resin art. So thank you guys for supporting me. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads between the main channel Monday to Thursday and the vlog channel Friday to Sunday. You get a video each and every day. Until next time, aloha from Santa Monica, California. Bye.